Steel Magnolias. Two sisters who love family, traditions, and all things Southern.
We've got plenty of room at our table, so pull up a chair.
Hey, Lainey.
Hi, Laura Beth.
Surprise, listeners. It's our first ever bonus episode. This is our gift to you for those of you that are inside your homes, working from home, wrangling kids, cooking meals with what you've got left in the pantry, etc., etc. This is our gift to you to just bless you with some hopeful joy this week, right?
Some friendship chat with your friends here on the podcast.
Exactly. So we are in the midst of one of the most interesting seasons our world has seen in our lifetime, be that the coronavirus of 2020. And so people are self-quarantined, and I actually am sitting here with my sister because she's in my immediate family.
That's right. You better not keep me from that cute boy of yours.
We are not in
season.
We are not in a public place. We are not in a studio or gathered with people. But you know what?
First, the same old table, and we hope you've pulled up your chair.
That's right. First, I just want to say I am doing my best to be kind to those that may be less informed than I am. Because I know I myself am having trouble keeping up with all the news,
the ever-changing,
what we should or shouldn't be doing.
Right?
I mean, I love being informed, but it's been hard to keep up with this because it's changing
to some degree,
so much.
We're all figuring it out as we go.
Right, and we're learning as we go. We've never been here before.
Right.
Ever.
Hope we aren't again.
And so I've been heeding advice as I hear it, but I want to just say, okay, so this is coming out on Monday. On Friday, so just a few days ago, I supported two small businesses, which were both small restaurants, because I heard that restaurants were taking a big hit.
Small businesses in general are.
Yes.
And so I loved that piece of advice because sometimes we don't have much margin.
Yeah.
Like a Walmart does for things not going.
Absolutely. And
on a normal cycle.
The trickle effect is crazy in how many people we don't even think about that their job status and their employment, et cetera, their hourly wages, all of it that's changing. So I went out. I never go out to eat. So I went out to eat for lunch and dinner on Friday with
supporting
my
husband
and son. Okay, so that was Friday. And then on Saturday, it was like, that's a no-no. So don't be in gatherings of 250 people or more.
Okay.
So I went to a small gathering of 10 people in my neighborhood. And then on Sunday morning, I woke up and
you were told that's
a no-no. And so I did not attend church. Neither did you.
Right.
We were able to luckily stream from home. Thank you, technology. So many people.
I know, that is so neat.
Got to be a part of their worship service or their gathering via technology streaming.
Which I, pause button, even think is a good thing. That just for any kind of thing that's going on in society, it's good for churches to be ready.
Well, yeah.
To live stream.
I even did that the couple of weeks after Jacob, my son, was born.
Right.
I'm not getting to church and I'm not bringing him out
to the Cootieville of population.
I don't want all of the church members hugging and kissing.
And they're going to when it's a new baby.
So yeah, I even participated in that way for that season, and I wasn't sick necessarily. I was just trying to be protective. But anyway, so again, today we are heeding the advice, and supposedly we're allowed to see each other. We are 6 feet apart at the table or about, which is also one of the things that they're saying to do. But, one of the things I thought was so interesting was this quote. I put it up on our Instagram and Facebook account that came from our hosting provider. So the technology that allows us to actually store this data.
I really love this.
So Libsyn is the name of that company. But the president was saying that podcasts deliver the comfort of a friendly and familiar voice at a time of uncertainty, and when personal contact and connections with communities may not be a possibility or an option for some. And honestly, it's getting to not be an option for all. because that's really what they're asking us. So I take it as a big honor.
I know that we get to come into your home with you.
That we might
via
be
the airwaves.
That we might be what you're spending your time in quarantine doing or listening to. But
and I hope our voices bring comfort during this time, because it's never good to be living out of a place of fear or panic.
No, it's not. So we do pray for those that are already facing this illness in their own family or themselves
or body,
that have directly been touched by this. And we've had a whole episode on faith in the South. Prayer in our culture is prevalent. So I know that there are Southerners that are spending time, maybe even more, in prayer during this time of being quarantined to our homes. And we don't want to make light of what you're doing in quarantine. I do pray that you are healthy and that you're at home because you're choosing to be at home and you're not home and sick.
Because you're sick, right.
But in light of that, we thought it would be fun to do a little reflection, or maybe even just put our own speculations on what we think Southerners are doing in their time of self-quarantine.
Or give you some ideas.
So this list could probably go on for forever, but we wanted to share the top things that we think Southerners are doing while in self-quarantine this week. So I'll kick us off.
All right.
This list came to me at an unusually fast speed, too. So just know.
Isn't it funny when... Remember when we very first started the podcast and you were like, let's start kind of thinking through some topics. And the next day I sent you like a long
text of lists. Yes. Just comes natural.
We just think like that.
So one of the things I think people, or Southerners, I'm keeping this to Southerners, are doing while in their homes this week I think they are taking an online course for flower arranging, but using the silks pulled out from the basement because they can't get out to get fresh flowers. So I think they are educating themselves and really working on their floral arranging
Making
skills.
Their Easter wreath for the front door.
Exactly.
That is hilarious. That's good.
Speaking of Easter, I do think one of the things that they're doing is they're working on their Easter menu because, gosh darn it, we will not cancel Easter, y'all.
Absolutely not.
Easter will happen. It may look different this year, but it's happening. So I think Southerners are working on their Easter menu. It gives us more time to
think through,
spread our cookbooks out.
That's right. Even thinking through the Easter egg hunt, which I did my first one last year for Jacob.
That was so fun.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, you could even be testing out recipes for said Easter menu if you've got the ingredients on hand.
That's true.
If you don't have to get out for it. But
we mentioned doing a deviled egg tray, so you could
do a test run. We actually couldn't find meat at the store yesterday, but we have 30 eggs right now for our family of 3. So
Jacob likes eggs, so you're good to go for a bit.
I probably wouldn't do that because my eggs are my protein this week, but
Well, it's funny if you've been to any stores to get items. It's interesting to see the things that are wiped clean off the shelf.
Yeah.
I, as I've mentioned on here before, have a surgery upcoming on my foot. And so I've been trying to proactively get a few things together that I'm going to need.
Right.
Since I won't be able to just jump in the car and drive and go get things. One of the things on my list was bleach. Didn't really think about that being a high demand item. So when I went to Target to get, I think I had 4 things on the list, and I'm just pushing my little cart thinking, I'm so glad I don't need toilet paper. And I get to the bleach aisle and I'm like, whoa. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's kind of in the family.
Clorox stock has been the only thing that's sustained lately. So yeah.
So I don't have bleach, but that's okay. All is well. But yeah, it's interesting the things that are wiped off the shelf.
Yeah. Well, and I think Southerners probably are preparing for even future days, not just sustaining themselves this week. And so one of the other things that I think Southerners are doing this week are making biscuits from scratch.
Oh, yeah.
But making multiple dozens and then freezing biscuits
just wisdom,
for future.
Isn't it?
I mean, so it maybe you're doing this, or maybe this is just a pro tip for you, but most Southerners have the biscuit ingredients in the house, would you say?
Well, I was thinking butter, flour. Not sure if you're always going to have buttermilk on hand.
I don't, but you do.
I do at the moment because I made cornbread.
Yes.
So I do have some buttermilk. So it would be fun to even practice. Like if you had various biscuit recipes that you weren't sure which one you liked the best, you could make 2 or 3 different recipes and see and then toss the other 2 after you find your winner.
You could do your own bake-off in your home.
Exactly.
Have your other family members participate or just decide yourself.
Exactly.
Which one really, that's fun.
In fact, this is just now in the moment bringing back a memory of something I thought was so funny. So I have a neighbor, Shelley, who her daughters love to cook.
Yeah.
And you know that show, I can't think of the name of it at the moment, where they give you a basket of ingredients. And you
Is it the British Bake Off or the...
No, it's not that one. But
it's Chopped? I don't know. It's one of those.
It's Chopped.
Chopped?
Yeah. So you get this basket of ingredients.
Yes.
And everybody gets the same basket of ingredients. And you have to come up with a recipe.
Yeah.
She did that with her girls on a snow day.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so adorable because... it was kind of their own little bake-off with precious. What they had in the house. And sometimes it wasn't, it was, basics that they had, and they had to kind of compete on whose recipe came out the best. Anything like that could be fun.
Since you're not seeing your friends, neighbors, and other people, you could do one category of presentation and post photos and allow other people to vote.
I love this.
So they're not getting to taste it, but you could do a presentation category.
And then just because in the South we're neighborly, you could do a
drive-by.
Would that not be adorable to do a little drop of, here's the biscuits?
Yeah, I love that idea. That's great.
Well, you mentioned going ahead and preparing your Easter menu while you're in your house. I think that's a brilliant idea. But you could just, in general, plan your next gathering, thinking through the calendar of okay, we're not sure when we'll be able to gather again with people, but what could be my theme if it's in April, or what could be my theme if it's not till May?
Yes.
And come up with your
daydreams and gatherings. I like that. Be flexible on it. Don't put it so much effort that you're disappointed.
Don't get on Amazon and order all your party favors for an April Fool's gathering.
I love it. One of the things I think people are doing is for sure opening that aged bourbon, right?
Oh,
because if ever there was a time, well, I think it's now, right?
Don't leave it on the shelf another day.
So if it's been sitting on the shelf and you've been wondering what occasion you might open that, I think
today's
you've just met your day. Yeah. So I definitely think that's happening. Yeah.
This is a funny one that came in my mind, but if you have silver, now's a good time to shine it.
It was on my list too. Maybe your first ever attempt to clean your silver. So if you've got the stuff to clean it with, do it. There's probably even, you could look online, maybe some home remedy.
Home way to do it.
Yeah. Well, homeopathic sort of.
If you've got the silver, you should keep that on hand.
Yeah. So definitely, I think Southerners agree, are cleaning their silver.
That's cute.
I think they're watching Gone with the Wind.
It's a good time because it's a long one.
Well, and because if ever we needed a good dose of reality, it's not like we're starving like Scarlett at Tara, right?
That's right.
So it could be
it hasn't come to that.
A moment of gratitude that at least we're not that bad off.
That's right. But she makes it through.
She does. She perseveres like a steel magnolia.
That's right. She's got gumption.
And if you haven't seen it, yes, like you said, it's a long one, but time is on a lot of our side. So
great time to do it.
Yeah. I think many, many people are teaching that hunting dog that really doesn't do much to actually fetch. Right?
That's what I should be doing.
So, I'm looking at your English Springer Spaniel, she's a hunting dog, and she's not getting to hunt as she was.
I know she
created,
would love that.
And is innately in her.
Too.
But she could learn to fetch this week, so you've got a good backyard, and
she's so driven by food that I think it's going to take having treats on hand because she does know how to fetch.
Yeah,
but she just doesn't often do it.
Yeah,
so
Well, I just think it's funny, like
having some smell good yummies on my hip would be the ticket to getting her to do it well. Yeah.
But all these beautiful hunting dogs that exist and reside all throughout the South that don't hunt and that actually don't even have tricks up their sleeves. Now's the time, y'all, get the pets involved.
I was thinking you could also pull out the horseshoes or something like that you don't pull out very often.
Exactly. They want us to be outside.
Kids.
That's so good. That is so good. Yeah. You may not have to go as far as setting up the badminton net and game.
We used to do that.
We did. But yeah, horseshoes is so easy. If you've got horseshoes, maybe Amazon that. I don't know. But yeah, that's a great idea. I think people are calling relatives, and they're actually putting together that family reunion for this summer that they've always said they should do.
That's a great idea.
I think people are doing that, or they want to do that. So now's the time. Idea. And I would forecast it late summer because you just don't know, like we said, how much of this is going to linger and maybe get worse before it gets better.
If we're all staying in, it should be shorter than if we don't.
Yes. What else is on my list? I think Southerners are smoking something while they're at home, and I mean meat.
I was going to say, clarify, please, clarification.
Any meat that's in the house, assuming you got the opportunity to get to the store and get meat. I'm not smoking my eggs.
Don't try to go get it now.
Make use of what you've got. But time is on our side. So if you've always...
You can low and slow all night, all day.
If you've avoided using your smoker and it's just sitting out there because you don't have 14 hours to put into your brisket.
That's right. Now's the time.
Do it.
Assuming you have charcoal. But I guess you could Amazon that if you need it.
Yeah. And like you said, we could be doing drive-bys for neighbors of leaving stuff on porches. If there's a cup of sugar needed.
That's right.
Just go drop it off. Put it out there on your socials that you need it and see who comes by with it. I did on my way over here. I saw at one of my neighbor's house, someone had put toilet paper between her storm door and her front door. It was just classic. Like wedged in there. I don't know if she'd asked for it. And this is a single mom of 3 girls, 2 of which are very disabled. And so I was like, oh, look at somebody looking out for her.
Loving their neighbor. For real, in a practical way.
For real. Okay, flowers, bourbon, biscuits, hunting dogs. I've covered a lot here. You know what? Hopefully they're listening to the Steel Magnolias podcast.
Catch up. It's time to catch up.
It's time to binge.
Missed episodes, it's time.
Binge, listen, go back. Let us know your favorites. And we would love to know that, just because there may be even more of that topic that we want to talk about and create another episode about, right?
So even if you've got the time, reach out to us. Let us know if you have an idea for an episode, if there's something you want to know more about. Let us know. Now's the time.
That is a great idea. And
we love hearing from you all.
We do. We love the interactions. We love the messages. We do have a Facebook group too. If you want to join our Facebook group, it's just the Steel Magnolias podcast group. So you can look that up on Facebook, and then you will have to request to join because it's a closed group, because we share recipes in there and ideas of things. And it's just a little bit more private than our just regular Facebook page. So if that's something that is of interest to you, do that. And while you have free time this week, we would also love a 5-star review.
Yes, please.
And that can be done on Apple Podcasts. So if you are an iPhone user, that's just the click of a button to write review, and you hit those stars, and then 1 or 2 sentences is all it takes to actually do that, and it helps other people find us, because that all factors in
absolutely in the old algorithms
to the way people find new podcasts that they might not be searching specifically for us, but they're looking for a podcast on Southern culture or Southern topics, and so that helps. So use those words too.
And you may be sitting on your computer deleting all of the emails that you've gotten from every single source you've ever interacted with on that telling you that they're washing their hands. I'm sorry. I have to laugh for a minute about this because some of the groups, it kind of doesn't, I mean, not that it doesn't matter, but it's not, they're not in the health field.
Exactly.
But I'm a massage therapist. And so it's a small business. It's just here in a studio in my home. It's not like there's hordes of people coming in. But it is a health-related field.
Exactly.
My license comes from the health board.
Exactly.
So I didn't send out an email because I'm like, I would hope on a day-to-day basis, I'm washing my hands and washing the sheets. Because if not, you shouldn't come.
That's right.
If
that's ever in question.
Basics.
Yeah.
That's so hilarious. I didn't send an additional hey, I Cloroxed the face wash or of course I'm cleaning and washing my hands. I touch people's bodies.
Yeah.
So
I had no idea some of the lists that I was on, like some very small boutique in New York. I was like, when was I ever there? Like, what? I don't even know what this place is. And it's a boutique. So at most I'm touching hangers that somebody else. Yeah. So interesting.
It is to see the things people are
communicating through.
Yeah.
But
anyhow,
we respect your decisions to stay home and to self-quarantine. We're taking steps ourselves to not help spread the virus. So, you're pointing to something.
Were you going to mention those cards?
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'll end on this. This is my challenge for this week. So I'm a member of the Hallmark Crown Rewards Club. It's not a club. Like that's
y'all gather.
No, we have no gatherings. It's free to join. You just do it at a Hallmark store, but you get like points and special coupons. But now through all of summer, I think it ends the first week in June. Every Friday, you can go into a Hallmark store and choose one of their cards from their Just Because line of cards, which is such a cute line. Because it's just for when you care enough to send a smile to lift someone's spirits, to surprise someone, just because. That's the cute little line about it. So there's some blank ones.
All different themes.
I have 2 here, and I brought them over because you're not going to be the recipient of these. Sorry, sister. I'm going to select somebody else. But
Should I read it, what it says, or just look at it?
Oh, well, this one's a blank one. It's just cute. It's got like a bird,
so
some sort of pretty dove on it. So it's blank. So I'm not sure who I'll send that
beautiful.
to. But that one says she believed she could, so she did. So I'm going to randomly send this to 2 people this week, maybe that I haven't connected with a while.
I love this challenge to send snail mail.
Snail mail. It's back. I mean, I'm assuming the post office is going to keep running for a while. So, again, everything we're saying today, hopefully it's met with the caveat of everything could change
tomorrow.
So this week I'm challenging myself to write a couple of cards. And if you would like to do the same, Lainey, listeners.
I love that idea.
I'd love to see your posts too. So tag us at Still Magnolias Podcast. Let us see your cards you're sending.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're just FaceTiming or texting or setting up a virtual meeting for people that you don't get to connect with at this time. So maybe
I love that idea.
Maybe they're in town and maybe they're not.
I may be having a indefinite house guest.
That's right.
I did a FaceTime with Freya, who was my international student from China that I hosted a couple of years ago. And she's a freshman at Indiana University.
Yes.
And she had decided that she was just not going to travel for spring break. So she was just going to stay on campus. Lots of people that she knew were staying in, so they were going to do that.
Yeah.
Well, now they've canceled classes from returning after spring break.
Wow.
And she has nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
She can't fly home. So she's likely coming, and
she has no place to go, but she does.
Yeah.
So she's coming on down.
She's supposed to let me know today if she'll be coming tomorrow.
Okay. So you have a house guest coming.
Yep. I told her she may have to play nurse in a couple of weeks.
She will get to wait on you. Payback. You took care of her for a long time. She can take care of you for a week. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed a bonus episode.
Yes.
We had fun getting to do this for y'all, and we will still do a regular episode this week, and so look forward to that. But if this caught you by surprise, make sure that you subscribe to the podcast, and that way you'll always know when we have a new episode out. It will give you a notification on your phone when we release that. So y'all have a good week. Stay safe. Be well.